Hi guys, how are you? So welcome to the class that we are supposed to have on the 10th of March. Okay, so let's do this. Okay, this is the second time I'm recording actually in this class because the first one there was a problem with the microphone and everything sounds like if it was on a Smurf for some reason. But I hope this time works. Okay. You can see. Remember, I showed you yesterday the hanging lamp. Today we have something else. We are not alone. Okay. Over here, that's not a blanket or whatever. That's my cat. That's Oli, like oil in Catalan. He has been there the whole morning while I was trying to recording. So yes, he's paying a lot of attention to the class. I think he likes it somehow. All right, so yeah, remember we are in chapter 5. We're gonna talk about something that we already started the last day of class. Okay, but before that, okay, let me just talk a little bit about the whole situation that we are living through on here. No, I mean, you know how in the last day of class we did this analysis of the whole situation about you guys going home or staying. And at the end the decision had to be made, okay, and you had to go back, and we are doing this online and stuff, okay. Well, as I told you, that was an ethical decision after all, okay. And it's pretty interesting to see how in different governments, different countries, this, if you try to analyze it from, you try to extract yourself and take yourself away from the situation, imagine that this is not affecting you. We try to analyze it from an objective point of view. We could use ethical thinking, ethical studies to analyze it, because at the end of the day, no one really knows what to do for sure, okay? And every government is making their move, okay? And is making their own considerations about how to behave. And all of them are ethical decisions, okay? Because they are not following the law, okay? They are following what they think is best, what they think is right, the right thing to do, okay? Here you take, for example, the government in Spain, okay, beyond the fact that we are quarantined since last, well, since the weekend actually. Yesterday they approved like a huge package of measures to help people during this time, like a 200,000 million euros. Okay, so that's a lot of money. It's the biggest social package that have been approved in our history. Okay, so that's a lot of money. Okay. So the deal, okay, or the option they are taking is to try to protect the population, but probably affecting the economy, right? So they're gonna put population over economy, okay? So that's the decision that they are making, because the economy is gonna suffer. I mean, definitely, okay? I mean, because I mean, just take my town, Sevilla, in the south, and during this month, a lot of money have been lost. Okay, we have like important soccer games, Sevilla versus Roma. A lot of people, a lot of tourists lost. We have then the Sevilla Betis, the two teams in the city, like a lot of rivalry. Okay, so like a lot of money there. Then we have the Easter celebrations in Sevilla. It's like crazy thing. Google up. It's like totally crazy. Like millions of people come to Sevilla during that week to see it. Lost. And that one is lost because that can be postponed. And then during the end of April, we have something called the Feria de Sevilla, Sevilla Fair, with, once again, million people come to this event. Well, that's going to be postponed to September, but yes, lost. Okay, so yes, the economy is going to suffer. It's going to suffer a lot, especially in a country like us that is so much based on tourism. Okay, but yes, that's the option that we are taking. Okay, so protect people over economy. You take, for example, England, say the UK, and they are choosing something else. Okay, they are choosing economy over people. What that means? Okay, well, they have say they are not going to stop anything. Okay, they are not going to stop school. They are not going to stop gatherings or concerts or whatever. Okay, they assume the people are going to get infected. Okay, they assume people are going to die, but they won't destroy the economy because of that. Okay, they assume that it's tolerable. They can assume, okay, or they can live with the fact that people are going to die. There was an estimate yesterday by the Minister of Health of England, the UK, saying that they stopped counting the number of people infected by the virus. Okay, so they estimate that right now there should be somewhere around 50,000 people, not dollars, sorry, certain people, and where if they keep it under 20,000 casualties, then that would be tolerable. That would be okay, right? A different approach, totally different approach. I mean, also they are saying that they are doing that because by doing this, more people will get infected, and most people that get infected, as you know, we don't have to suffer anything like extreme. Okay, it will be like a kind of like a normal cold. Okay, so we won't be like a really bad disease, and then most people can develop immunity in their immune system. Okay, so that's the approach they are taking. Risky, if you ask me, but definitely a different approach. And once again, if you were doing a utilitarian analysis, where the two scenarios is to protect the economy, to protect lives, okay, well, you can wait it, and they waited for the protect the economy. So it's really interesting, and probably as the situation go over and over, okay, and our classes are going by, okay, probably I'm gonna ask you to do something about this, okay, because I think it's a really interesting analysis, and also it's something that we can take from our class. Okay, so let's start with today's class. Okay, so we have seen this already. Okay, that's the overview of the class. Okay, remember the last day I already introduced you to these ideas. Okay, so in this class we're gonna talk about the different tools that we have as a manager to manage business ethics. We won't cover all of them that there are out there. Okay, we're gonna cover the ones that we think are more interesting and more important. In the class that we have the last day, at the end of the class, remember, we talk a little bit about the role of the leader, okay, the leadership role. We will discuss it again probably in the next session, okay, when we talk about the organizational culture. We're gonna bring back those ideas that we discussed. But what are the tools? What are the things that we're gonna see? Remember, well, we're gonna see things like we're gonna discuss the nature and the evolution of business ethics, okay? How is the thing, how important they are, okay? We of course are gonna focus a lot, and today especially, we're gonna focus a lot on the code of ethics, okay? The code of ethics, that's the main tool the company have, especially in the US, to manage business ethics in their company, or at least the more formal one. We're gonna talk about a little bit about different theories about stakeholder relationship, but not too much. I kind of skip that part, okay, just in case you have the book and you're reading it. We're gonna skip that part a little bit. It's not that interesting for us. And then we're gonna talk about the development of social accounting. Okay, something that is getting trendy. Remember, I told you, like the same way that we have financial accounting, we have social accounting, we have social and ethical accounting. It's a field that has to be developed more, okay, but it's an ongoing process, okay. It's getting trendy and more relevant, okay. We're going to talk about different ways to organize the business business ethics, okay, and we're going to talk about the organizational culture, especially the role of the leadership, okay, and well, we're going to talk about what are the limits of this analysis, okay, whether if what we do regarding business ethics are just because we want to do it, or because we are forced to do it, because it's a PR relationship, etc. Okay, we're going to discuss all of that. A piece of advice about how to follow this presentation, okay. My suggestion, you are watching the video, okay, but also you should open the PowerPoint, okay, without the video, all right, the regular PowerPoint, because during the presentation, okay, I'm gonna ask you to do exercises, to do little cases, okay, like we will do in class, okay. So during the video, I'm gonna ask you to now pause the video, go to Canvas, read this case, okay, answer the questions, go to the discussions, okay, to answer the questions, and then go back, okay, and we can come back, okay. Or I'm gonna ask you, hey, stop the video, check out this video on YouTube, okay, check out this the video on YouTube, and then come back and we can talk about it, okay. So the good thing to, or the proper thing to follow this class is to have the video, to have the slides, and to have Canvas, okay, so you can work on the class. On Canvas, sometimes the same way that we did in class, I'm going to ask you to work on a little case by yourself. Sometimes I'm going to ask you to work with other people to make it easier, because you already have the connection and probably the tools to work together with your group project, okay. So they're going to be cases like a group case, okay. I'm going to ask you to use a Google Docs to work together as a group, okay. and then submit your answers to discussions more than Canvas, okay, to discussions so everyone can see. I can give you some feedback on that, okay, and we can use all of that, all right? So that's the proper way to follow the class, okay? So, okay, so let's go for the first slide. Okay, so business ethic management, remember we already saw this slide, refers to the direct attempt to formally or informally manage ethical issues or problems through specific policies, practices, and programs. Okay, all the protocols that you have, or the values that you want to transfer, or the values that define who you are as a company, all of that refers to what we talk about business ethic management. Okay, we already saw that. Okay, so let's. Okay, so what are the typical components of business ethics management? What are the typical tools that a company can use to manage business ethics in their in the facilities? Well, let me start by saying that not all of them are going to be useful for companies. Okay, that this list, okay, doesn't mean that all companies are going to use all of them. Not at all. Okay, there are some companies that are going to use a few of them, some no whatsoever. We'll talk about it later. Okay. So just different examples about what company can do. Okay, so let's start by talking about one that, yes, they don't have to use all of them, but there is one that most companies use, almost 100%. Okay, that's probably the first thing that you have to think about when you are thinking about creating a company. Okay, when you're doing the plan of the company, well, that will be the mission and the value statement. Okay, the mission, who we are, or the vision, no? Where do we see ourselves in the near future? Okay, so these big words that try to define who we are. That later, of course, you have to break it down to more practical things. Okay, but you know, things like, you know, we want to be the best company offering a beautiful design computer that is really easy to use. Something like that would be the perfect mission of a company like Apple. Okay. Then one that is going to be really interesting for us, especially today in this session, okay, we have the code of ethics. Okay, code of ethics, those rules, principles, guidelines that tell people how to behave in the company, that express how the company behave. We're gonna see how they're gonna be different levels. So we're gonna talk about what can make an effective code of ethics. Okay, some suggestions for the proper implementation, some limits about the code of ethics. We're gonna discuss all of these ideas. Okay. Then there are others like reporting by channels, the risk analysis management. These all fall under what the category that we say the organizational culture of the company. Okay, that we're going to discuss during this class, and we will see what that means, how we can classify it. Okay, how we can identify the organizational culture, how we can classify it, different companies in this organizational culture. Okay. Then things are interesting for us as well. The auditing, accounting, and reporting. That refers to the idea of the social accounting that I was talking about before. Okay, that's going to be interesting for us, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. Not too much, okay, but we're going to talk a little bit about that, okay, to see how that works. Okay, and then something that you are living right now, live here. Okay, it's the idea of the ethics education and training. Okay, more and more companies are training their CEOs. This is becoming more and more popular on business studies. Okay, and you can experience. Okay, you know, this probably has a lot to do with the whole idea about the triple bottom line. Remember that we introduced in the class. Remember the idea of this triangle. No, the idea that you don't have just to worry about the profit, but also about the society and about the environment. Okay, this whole idea, no, that is getting trendy and more popular for companies. And you know, that's probably something that, you know, is early to know. You know, the situation that we're living right now, okay, the whole situation that we are living, this whole mess that we are living, you know, it's going to be one of those moments in history. I mean, we are living history, no? It's not something that we're gonna read about it. We are living it right now. It's happening. It's gonna be one of those moments that people will remember. No, like for example, the 9/11. If you ask anyone, where were you on 9/11? You ask your parents. I mean, you ask yourself. Probably you were crawling in your house because you didn't know how to even speak. But you ask me, for example, I know even from the US, but you ask me, I vividly remember where I was. I was eating lunch with my parents. It was 3 p.m. in Spain when that happened. Okay. I was eating lunch. I was remember even what I was eating that day. I don't remember what I ate that yesterday, but I remember what I was eating the 9/11 2001. Okay, so imagine how vivid is the memory. And the world changed after that. The same thing happened with the crisis in 07/08. The world changed after that. Okay? We were living in the morning after we were living in a new world. Well, it's gonna happen here. We don't know what kind of world it's gonna be when this happen because it's gonna happen. Okay, a new world, a new society may come up from this. Okay, we all remember this. You know, maybe there is here an opportunity for business ethics actually. Okay, because maybe this idea that we need how fragile our economy is if we don't take care about or we don't care about what's going on in the environment. Well, maybe a lesson that we are learning the hard way right now. Okay, or we don't care about society, or we don't care about health, whatever. Okay, well, it's a lesson that we may learn here. Okay, and there is a potential opportunity for business ethics training, for business ethics education, for business ethics practices. Okay, in here. Okay, to take advantage of the situation. Okay, even think about a business situation. All right, every now and then I'm gonna also highlight what can be good about what we are living by. Okay, I think it's a way to stay positive about the situation. I mean, we know that the whole thing is a mess. We know that all the problems about the situation. I mean, we have been quarantined since the last weekend. I mean, we know all of that. Okay, but trying to stay positive and thinking about what can be good about this. Yeah, it's an interesting exercise. Okay, that I'm gonna try to do with you guys during the class. For example, when we talk about ethical issues about the employees, okay, and we talk about conciliation between balance between work life and personal life. We want to say how one tool that can help to provide this balance could be the remote working. Okay, you work from your house, you have to commute. Okay, you save time by doing that. In Spain, most companies are reluctant to do so, are reluctant to work from home. But this situation is showing us that, well, it is possible. Okay, so maybe it's going to be a lesson that we learn, and maybe it's going to provide an environment where more companies will be willing to accept people working from home. So that will make easier the balance between personal life and work life. Maybe, who knows. Okay, so we're gonna do all of this. Okay, we're gonna try to highlight what is good about it. Okay, so I think it's gonna be an interesting exercise for all of us. Also, you want to share that in the discussions, you will be more than welcome to do so. Okay, let's move on. Let's start with the first slide here. Well, as I was saying, few or any business at all are gonna use all the tools that were on the list. Okay, there are even some of them that they don't use any. Okay, really, they don't use any. I'm thinking about a small size company. A company this is the boss and maybe 3 or 4 employees. Okay, you probably don't have a protocol. You probably don't have a code of ethics. Okay, that doesn't mean that you don't care about your employees. You do care about. You can care about them. Okay, but it's gonna be probably more informal. Okay, you know their name, you know their families. Okay, so if they need something, they are worried about something, you're gonna know. So it's gonna be like a more informal approach. Okay, that doesn't mean, and that's why we're gonna focus on that they don't have an organizational culture. All companies are gonna have a specific organizational culture, some values that they live by. Okay, that's really for any company. Okay. But for the rest of the more formal tools, they probably won't use it. Okay, the adoption of this system, especially the code of ethics, is growing more and more, especially in the US. We're gonna talk about that. Okay, and also there have been a change in the approach that we have to manage business ethics. Okay, there have been a change on that. Okay, so in the past it was more about the employee, how the employee had to behave. Okay, and now it's changing towards the idea of more social responsibilities, okay, what we can do for the society. Okay, so that's a little change that we want to witness these days. Okay, so what are code of ethics? Okay, how do we work with them? All right, let's start. Okay, so we're gonna start by working on a little case. Okay, so after I explain you what to do, I'm gonna ask you to pause the video, go to Canvas, answer some questions. Okay, so I'm gonna ask you to go to Canvas and read the getting explicit about the code of conduct case. Okay, it's a situation where you're a manager of a company that's working on an important project. Okay, and one of your key components of your team, okay, that you are really happy with his work, he took his computer home this weekend to work on the project. Okay, and then on Monday, the IT guy comes to you with some news that he discovered some stuff that shouldn't be there. Okay, that shouldn't be there. Okay, so it's inappropriate use of the company material. Okay, according to the code of ethics, the guy should be fired. The code of ethics that, by the way, you wrote. Okay, so that's the discussion. Okay, so you know, it's a developed discussion. Okay, in the case, this is the kind of mini case that I always give you, like a 1-2 page cases. Okay, to introduce new topics. Okay, you were in class, we will do that right now. So that's why I want to open this. Once you read it, work on the answers. Okay, and then go to the discussion thread on Canvas and share your answers to the questions. Okay. I'm gonna add an extra question to the discussion. Okay, an extra question to the discussion that talk about: do you think most companies will fire the key employee in a similar situation? Okay, or they won't do that. Okay, they won't fire. What do you think they will do? Okay, so think about these questions. Go to Canvas, share your links, and then come back. Okay, all right. Pause. Okay, you notice that there are some extra pauses between the slides. It's because my daughter entered before to brought me this beautiful drawing. Okay, it's like clearly it's a sun and a moon over here. Okay, you know by the shape of the sun that she takes the drawing skill from me. Okay, but it is still beautiful. Okay, all right, so you answer the questions. Okay, so let's talk about it a little bit. Okay, so what are the main ethical issues? I mean, later when I can read your questions, okay, on the discussion thread, I will be able to give more specific details. Okay, but probably you have said things like the main ethical problem in the case will be the fact about following or not the rules that you wrote. Ethical case would be like affecting the company because if you fire the guy, the project that you're about to launch it's going to suffer, and that's going to affect your company, your reputation as a company. That's going to affect your clients. Okay, things like this. Okay, about whether this is important enough to fire a person. So also maybe you are going to consider the fact that they have been a while that you haven't do the analysis. Okay, you haven't shown to people the code of ethics. Okay, so maybe people don't remember, and maybe you have to do some training. So in the action that are open to you, well, you can fire the guy, or you cannot fire. You can say, wait, I don't fire, but I'm going to give them a fine, or I don't fire, but I'm gonna talk to the guy. Okay, I won't fire, but we're gonna do like a training session for the whole company to explain again the code of ethics. After that, we are going to do that. You assess the alternative. Okay, I mean, from a duty-based perspective. Okay, that's easier to do it. Okay, well, if it's in the norms, you say that you should be fired, then you should be fired. That's the right thing to do. Okay, from the utilitarian analysis, then is when you can, well, you can analyze it. Okay, you can see the two scenarios: I fire the guy, I don't fire the guy, and then you analyze different stakeholders of the company, the guy, yourself, the code of ethics itself, the reputation of the code of ethics, the clients. You put all of that. Okay, and you do that table and you do the analysis about what to do. Okay, and maybe you come back with the option that, okay, it will be better for everyone if we don't fire the guy. okay? But then, and that's the question number 5, is like, okay, so where are the benefits and limitations of the code of conduct in this sample? We're gonna talk about that later, okay? In this class we will introduce it, but you know, probably you have to say like, okay, but if I don't fire the guy, then no one is gonna trust the code of ethics anymore. But if the code of ethics is such a strict code of ethics like this case, that could affect the company, so it has to have some sort of flexibility that allow us to understand the context where decisions have been made. But all of that, okay, are under the discussions that we're gonna cover in the class. But about the last question that I added, okay, one more thing. I'm gonna ask you to pause the video game, okay? I'm gonna ask you to check this video out, okay, about a real situation that happened in McDonald's last year, okay? So pause the video, check out the YouTube link, okay, and then come back and we can talk about it. Hey, I think I haven't introduced you to Darky over there, okay? It's a Darth Vader watch that is my audience that I'm talking to while I'm explaining the case. I must tell you, you guys are more fun than him, okay? So yeah. All right, so you saw the video, okay? Situation, well, it was this guy, McDonald's, pretty high manager, pretty high up in the hierarchy, okay? He has a relationship with a subordinate, consent one, okay? It's not harassment or anything like that, okay? It's a consent relationship between two adults, okay? And, well, he resigned because of that, because in the code of ethics, it says in the company that, you know, people in the company shouldn't have affairs or relationships or whatsoever, okay? Are you surprised with this decision? Maybe you knew the case, okay? But are you surprised? Is it consistent with what you thought, okay? What you answered before about what to do with the company? Well, that's an example that some companies take really seriously the code of ethics, the code of conduct, okay? They take it really seriously, the reputation of the company, maybe become alive, and the fact that all people follow the same rules, okay? So, you know, that's an extreme scenario, okay? Definitely, okay? But it's a pretty good example of how sometimes code of ethics are actually followed, okay? And, you know, when we talk about the effective way to have a proper implementation of the code of ethics, definitely the fact that you do what you mean is going to be important, okay? It's going to be definitely important, okay? So this is a pretty good example of that, okay? Okay, let's move on. So code of ethics, what are they? Okay, so they are totally voluntary statements, or at least in theory, and then later I will tell you why I say at least in theory, that commits organization, industries, professions, to specific beliefs, values, protocols that talk about what is going to be the proper ethical behavior of the employees. Okay, there are four kinds of main ethical codes, okay, or here you can see them, okay. The individual ones for one company, okay. Each company may have their own code of ethics. We're gonna see one example later in the session, in the class, okay. We're gonna see code of ethics for professions. Maybe you heard about the hypocritical oath, okay, for doctors, okay, for surgeons, okay, etc. In the medicine, it's kind of famous, okay. There'll be industry code of ethics. You know, in the True Cost documentary, they kind of talk about how the fashion industry is trying to develop a code of ethics for the whole industry, okay. Or a program or group of code of ethics, maybe organized by a supranational organization that try to come together similar ideas, okay, and the United Nations is kind of doing something like that, okay, kind of doing something like that. So there are different kinds of code of ethics like this, okay. Their use have been more and more common, okay, especially during the 2000s, okay, and they are especially used in the US, but not that important or not that common in Europe, okay. Can you guess why? Think for a second. Can you guess why it's more normal to see them in the US but not in Europe? Well, It is more normal in the US and not that normal in Europe, okay? And that's related to something that we have talked already, is the different approach that we have to business ethics in Europe and in the US, okay? In the US and the UK are more common because they are used to regulate things about your employees, like holidays, like pregnancy leaves of absence, okay? A lot of things, a lot of rights, okay, that you may have as an employee that in Europe, continental Europe, I mean, okay, like in Spain, in France, they are already covered by the law. They are already regulated by the law. So the only thing that a company can do in Spain is to make it better. But you don't want to do anything, you are already covered by the rights that the law is going to give you, okay, and they are already covered. Everything is covered in Spain, like when it comes to, not everything, but a lot of things are covered, not like from what happened when you get fired to what happened if someone close to you is ill, someone close to you, if you are moving from your house to another house, you're gonna get a day off, okay? It's gonna be different if you're moving to the same city to a different city. Everything is gonna be covered. It's gonna be covered, so you don't have to go over again and do the code of ethics. It is true that in this globalized world, more and more companies are adopting code of ethics, but probably they're gonna have the approach of thinking about the society more about the employee, like we saw before, okay? But yes, in the US especially, okay, it's almost a must-have, okay? So that's why when I say before, like a voluntary, well, it's not really voluntary. You are kind of a large company in the US, you have to have one, okay? Because everyone has it, so even you don't like it, you have to have one, okay? It's kind of mandatory, okay? So that's gonna be a thing, right? So most companies are gonna have it, okay? Especially medium, big size companies are gonna have one, okay? And what are the kind of things that you're gonna see? As I was saying, look at that. 60% are label standards. That's the reason why they are not that necessary in Europe, because those label standards are going to be already included in the law. So you don't have to specify it in the code of ethics to the company, okay? Except if you want to make it even better, okay? Then you can agree your own agreement with your employees, and that is going to become acquired right for the employees, okay? I mean, if you today you say, okay, so from now on, instead of 40 hours per week, it's going to be just 36 hours per week, like we're going to do in our company. Well, that is going to become an acquired right. Then you can't come next year and say, no, let's go back to 40. I mean, it didn't work. You can do it, okay? I mean, you could do it if everyone has agreed on that. But if workers have the right not to agree, and if they don't agree, you have to stay with the 36 hours. And that be like a full week of work, okay? Because it's in the law, all right? The rest of the stuff, okay, things like environmental issues, etc. I mean, this is just for your information, okay? Not that you have to know this number by heart. Really, you don't have to know anything by heart at this point, okay? Because I'm gonna be an open book exam, remember. But just for your information. Okay. What are the main critics to ethical codes? Okay. Well, some of these critics, okay, you probably already have commented them while doing the mini case, okay? And probably we're gonna talk about that on the discussion thread. But what I was saying before, the lack of flexibility can be a problem, okay? So you have to be really careful with the kind of rules that you specify in your code, because you shouldn't, you shouldn't write rules that then you won't be willing to execute later when the thing happens, okay? Because otherwise, if you do that, then it's wet paper, okay? It works for nothing, okay? It can be difficult to apply when we are talking about new situations that you can't predict. Okay? I mean, one of the issues that we have in our company, the small issue that we have in our company to send people to work home, is that last year we changed a lot of laptops for tower computers, not like a fixed computer, desktop computers, okay? Because they were cheaper, and I mean, those people that they're using the desktop computer, they weren't just moving, so it was a waste of money, okay? So it was a way to be more efficient. Well, we never thought that we were going to be affected by a global pandemic, and then we need to take the laptop home, okay? So, you know, we kind of manage with that, okay? You can prevent that, okay? That kind of situation, right? If they are too big, they are worth for nothing, okay? And they mean nothing, okay? And they won't trust you. Probably if they are too big, it's because you don't really trust what you're doing, and you are thinking about this like a more of like a PR device, okay, like a public relationship device, okay, like you do it because you have to do it, but you don't really want to do it, really. So it's questionable sometimes as a control mechanism. If people don't trust it, then you don't affect behaviors, okay? You don't affect values, okay? And sometimes, okay, it could provoke some sort of bureaucratic conformity of the employees, okay, that you don't think, you just follow protocol, okay? Well, we already talked about that, okay? We talk about the external factors that influence your decisions, okay? That kind of bureaucracy can sometimes influence the way that we behave, okay? So, okay, so those are the critics. What makes an effective code, okay? You know, there are many suggestions. I compile here the 4 suggestions that I think are the most interesting from my experience in my company, okay? In our company, not mine, that is mine, okay, but in our company where I work and when I push this kind of protocols and stuff, okay? I've come to realize, okay, that the more people participate in the process, the better, okay? That doesn't mean that it's going to be like a assembly decision method, okay? Okay, maybe the final decision will be on the manager, of course, okay? But the more voices that participate giving their opinion, and the more that you can collect those voices in your final answer, the more willing people are going to be to follow the rules, okay? Because they are going to feel that they are part of the team, okay? And those rules will refer to them because we have answered them, okay? We have answered them, we have listened to them, and then we are giving them an answer to their suggestions, okay? So that's going to be really important. The more people participate in this process, the better, okay? It's important to discipline employees found in breach, yes, but also it's really important to incentive those in line, okay? If you are always doing the right thing, always, and no one tells you anything ever, probably at some point you're gonna say like, why bother? I mean, I'd rather just do the bad thing and maybe they don't catch me and whatever, okay? I don't have incentive to be the good guy, okay, in that particular case, okay? So it's really important to incentive good behavior, okay? Essential for me, managers have to be the first people to follow the role, to follow the rules, okay? And if they are in breach, also they have to live by the same rules. Otherwise, people would say, well, whatever. I mean, why him and not me? Okay. Imagine in class, no? Imagine that we were in class, in physical class, like our class, okay? I put you like an absence. You were like 5 minutes late, and then every day I come to class like 10 minutes late. At some point you will say, what are you doing? I mean, are you serious? I mean, yeah, you're telling me that I can arrive 5 minutes late one day and then you arrive almost every day 10 minutes late? I mean, is that a joke or what? Same thing for a company, okay? Same thing for a company. Actually, we have a case in our company, okay? Last year, there was, the president of the company, the president of the company, he likes to have like this kind of informal vibe, okay? So he always say that he doesn't want to have like a reserve spot to park his car, okay? We have a parking, okay? So he doesn't want to have like a reserve spot. However, sometimes he had to go to meetings, whatever, and then he arrives to the company and there are no space to park near to the entry, okay? So he has to go far away. So last year he started to use one parking space that wasn't there, okay? And there was something like this, all right, like this better, okay. So he started to park. Let me write the car. He started to park there in the circle, okay. It wasn't a parking space, and he was kind of blocking these spaces that were special spaces for handicapped people. Normally they are not used, but they could be used. But the worst message to the rest of the workers was like, why can't I park my car there? So then it happens that a week after, someone came to the office, he was in a rush, and he parked the car in that spot. So how can you tell this guy that he can do it when the president is doing it? Yeah, because I'm the president. Well, then it is way better. We save you a space. I had to talk with him. Okay, it is way better. We save you in space. You can park always here. People will understand this way better than this idea that you can do whatever you want, because then we have a problem. It was me, the one that talked to him. He understood. Okay, he never did it anymore. Well, almost. But that was the thing. Okay, I mean, people don't trust you if you are not willing to follow the rules. Okay, so you have to be the first person to attend to the code. Okay, to be this strong role model, and then you have to be willing to follow through the rules. That's the case that we saw before. Okay, if you are not willing to fire this guy, well, you were the one writing the rules, so don't write it, or at least introduce some flexibility to the case. Okay, at least introduce like, okay, cases will be open to a study under this situation, and the measure that we can apply will come from firing to sending you home for a week with no salary, but you don't get fired. Well, open the options, okay, but don't write things that you are not willing to do later, because then we're gonna have a problem. Okay, people won't trust you. All right. A question about globalization. Okay, we are living in a globalized world. Okay, can we think about, can organizations devise one set of principles in all countries in which they operate? It's hard to say. Okay, it's hard to say yes. I mean, think about the fashion industry. Think about Apple. Do you think Apple treat their workers in Silicon Valley the same way that they treat workers that work for Apple? They are not from Apple because they belong to the company called Foxconn, but the one that assemble the computer? Well, probably no. Well, probably no. Okay, or think about the time manager example, Processor 3. Okay, you can apply the same principles to your employees in England and to the employees in Thailand. You're gonna say, yes, but they are not my employees. But yes, but they work for you. So really, I mean, they kind of are your responsibility. Okay, so it's complicated. Okay, so companies are trying. Here there are some examples, like for example, no, giving in Japan versus the UK. In Japan, it's kind of mandatory, like when you come to a meeting, to bring a little present. Normally wrap in paper. It's like the customary thing to do. In the UK, or even in Spain sometimes, well, like could be considered like bribery, and you can't give present. That would be a really bad thing to do. Okay, because people will interpret that you're trying to bribe them. Okay. So there are examples like this. Okay, there are attempts to create like global standards. Okay, the OECD, okay, is designing this the guideline for protection enterprise. The United Nations also is developing with a lot of companies signing in like this sort of human rights declaration for business ethics, okay, for how companies should behave. This is what we call the Global Compact. There are some attempts, okay, but you know, it is complicated. Okay, all right, so let's finish up this session, this class, okay, with a case that I'm gonna ask you to work as a group. Okay, so I'm gonna ask you to work as a group with your project group. Sorry, with the same group that you have for your project. So use a Google Doc like you do in class, okay, but now worldwide. So first, check out the videos on top, okay? Here you have, we're gonna talk about Unilever. You know the company? Maybe it doesn't sound familiar, but when you see the videos, you will see how it is familiar. Definitely. I mean, you go, I'm sure that you go right now to your fridge, wherever you are, you're gonna see Unilever products. To your bathroom, you're gonna see Unilever products, okay? For sure, guaranteed, okay? So check out these two videos. Here you have one link and the other link, okay? One example about, I mean, is think about Unilever as a example to follow or to run away from, okay? So they are behaving good or bad, okay? Then find the Unilever Code of Business Principles on Canvas. It's already on Canvas, okay? So find it there, okay? And think about the distinction between principles and guidelines, okay? Can you identify further examples of each Unilever code? Okay. Evaluate them in terms of the degree of commitment from Unilever and the feasibility of their implementation, especially across national contexts. And then think about it, okay, as a group, okay? Do you consider the code to be a useful management tool? Why yes, why not? Okay, so based on this Unilever case and the already thing that we had discussed, okay, do you think it's useful or not? So try to reflect some sort of discussion between you guys in the group, okay, to why you think or not. Maybe you can say why yes and why not, okay. You can try to defend both positions, okay. Some of you guys can defend the yes, those you guys can defend the no, okay. So try to bring some sort of discussion between you guys in this Google Doc document, and then share your answers in the discussion thread that will be open on Canvas for this particular case, okay. All right, so now it's time to pause here and work on this. You know, one advantage of working from home is like, well, I'm fully dressed, like to have the impression that I'm going to the office, okay? But then you can work with sandals, okay, or whatever. Look at this. Aren't they awesome? It wasn't easy to find my size, but yeah, I mean, they are really awesome. Okay, so you work on the project, okay? This is just the first page of the Unilever, okay? So just a follow-up, okay? So probably they have been complicated to distinguish guidelines from principles, okay? And probably the vibe that you get from this code is like it's pretty vague. It's not really that useful, okay? Think about CIE alone, okay? CIE, where we are studying, we have a code of ethics. It's like manual, pretty thick, okay, with a lot of pages, okay. We are not such a big organization like Unilever is. We're big, okay, but not such a huge multinational, okay, conglomerate like Unilever is, okay. So I'm gonna be interested to see your opinions on this. I'm gonna be interested of see what you think about the code of ethics in general, okay, how about your discussions, okay. So we also will be able to comment some of these things in the discussion, okay. So with this we will be the end of the session that we will have for March 10th, okay. On the next one we're going to talk about this social accounting, and we will discuss the idea of the organizational culture, okay. We also are going to do a little case, okay. These two sessions are going to be like a mix between just watching me, okay, and doing cases, okay. All right, see you in the next session, guys. Thank you.